Anyways, yeah, 3 huge college football games that I will be picking in this one, as well as reacting to this week's edition of the Top 25. But we'll get that later. Again, we're all here for the Thursday Night Football prediction. I'll get you guys all that. Also, the game itself isn't great, guys, but the Pats unis, you'll see that too. Anyway, though, let's get this thing going. And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the Thursday Night Football preview and predictions, as well as the college football game day picks for this week. And our Thursday night matchup, as you guys can see right here, is an AFC East battle. We already saw one of these earlier this season, like way earlier, back in week 3 when the Dolphins played the Bills. Now in a very similar situation in terms of, again, the underdog visiting on the road. The Jets, despite being on a win streak of their own, will be playing on against the Patriots team that is on a much more significant winning streak, as they will be pulling out these unis. They look very good. I'll be honest. These are very clean. They might look stupid. I'll be honest, guys. They really might, because it looks like the old XFL, not the one from COVID, like the old XFL. That XFL, that's what these look like. But we'll see if, again, it backfires or not. But, yeah, these are pretty tough. But anyway, as you guys can see, like I said, both these teams are on a winning streak. Jets, again, two games in a row, as they were able to knock off 2 AFC North bottom feeders. Bengals aren't bottom feeders, but their defense definitely is. As they just beat the Browns last week, despite Justin Fields only completing 6 passes and throwing his first interception of the season. A little bit before that, they beat the Bengals for their first win of the year as well. But, as we all know, this Jets team is not the most offensively gifted team, as well as the fact they're not really talented, considering they traded their 2 best defenders away. But who really knows? Will McDonald had a 4-sack game last week. This team is definitely on the up and up right now. If you are a Jets fan, you're definitely somewhat encouraged from what you've seen, even though, I don't know, Garrett Wilson is probably not going to play another down for you guys, hopefully. But, yeah, the Jets, they obviously have had a terrible year. But the fact, again, the past 3 weeks, they've been able to rally despite selling off guys. Again, it's been pretty encouraging for them. Patriots, like I said, they've won 7 straight. They're going for their longest win streak since 2019. If they're able to, again, even extend that longer, it would be their longest winning streak since 2016 or something like that. I don't remember. It's something like that. But they, again, come into this game at 8-2. It is their best record since through 10 games since 2019, when they started out 9-1. But nonetheless, for this Patriots team, we know they've had some big wins this year. Their last big win was against the Bucs just last week, as they had 3 long touchdowns, 2 of them from Trayvon Henderson, 1 of them by Kyle Williams. Again, the common thing with those guys are being that they're rookies. Also, again, those guys have some really big speed. Watch out for them here tonight. Also, for the Patriots, this is only their third division game of the year, as they played at Buffalo and at Miami their first 2 games. They have a cold one, obviously, tonight, but they are home. So, again, the first of 2 games against the Jets this year. So, again, definitely want to get on the right foot there. But anyway, the Jets obviously travel here last year, as they do every single year. That game did not go their way, as Aaron Rodgers and them ended up falling to the Patriots 25-22 in that one. It was a very close game, very thrilling end, even though both teams were obviously not the greatest at that time. Drake May, again, had a very solid game in that one as well. Nonetheless, this game will be at 8:15 on Amazon Prime Video. That is the only thing you'll be able to stream it on. If you don't have that, well, I mean, again, you probably have it by now. You got Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, he's still calling these games. Keely Hartung on the sideline for this game. I think pre-game's at like 7 or something. The weather for this game, it's going to be pretty cold, 30 degrees. Again, decent amount of wind at 8 miles per hour. It's going to be clear with periodic clouds. So really not too bad, but again, with it being mid-November, what else are you going to really expect? Other than that, though, for the Jets, their starting lineup, Justin Fields is at quarterback, Breece Hall and Isaiah Davis are in the backfield. Garrett Wilson is going to be out a couple weeks at least at this point, maybe not with a mini bye, though. Adonai Mitchell, Arian Smith, Tyler Johnson, they're a receiver. Mason Taylor, Jeremy Ruckert are at tight end. Andrew Beck is the fullback. Offensive line is completely healthy, outside of obviously Elijah Vera-Tucker, who has been out the entire season. Joe Tippmann has filled in well at right guard after being the center for them last season. Josh Myers is a big guy to get there from the Packers. Obviously, both tackles are young and have been playing pretty well recently. Defensively, Will McDonald's questionable. That would be a big loss. Harrison Phillips, again, has been a solid defensive tackle for them. Jay Tafuli and Jermaine Johnson, obviously both decent players. More of Jermaine Johnson, who has really not been great in terms of pressure this year. Kiko Mayaga and Jamin Sherwood have been pretty good recently. Again, really just Kiko, because he's gotten a shot to start. Quincy Williams, obviously the best player in this entire defense. Azari Thomas is out there, giving the rookie the start, which I really like. Quante Stiggers really hasn't cracked the starting lineup, more of a special teamer. He'll probably start if I had to guess, considering Deshaun Taylor is not a boundary corner. All 4 other guys have played on this defense. Obviously, Jarvis Brownlee Jr., the guy coming over from Tennessee a couple weeks ago, or really a month ago. Nick Folk, Austin McNamara, kicker and punter. Isaiah Williams, Keenan Nwangu, a returner. Thomas Hennessy at long snapper as well for the Jets. The Patriots now. They obviously have Drake May, quarterback. Ramondre Stevenson will not be playing in this game, so Trayvon Henderson will get the full workload. Terrell Jennings, who I didn't even know existed until last week, is questionable. If he plays, that would be cool. Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte out once again. Matt Collins and Mario Douglas are also there. Kyle Williams will probably get a lot of routes anyway. Hunter Henry will be getting, again, the look at tight end. I have to start him this week because of DeJuan Johnson being on a bye, but if that was not the case, I would not be starting him. And now we're geeked out for whatever reason. I'm just going to go back and see if that works. But other than that, this offensive line, last week they were very solid. Again, you can see Will Campbell and Morgan Moses, both tackles, very differentiating in age. Mike Onwenu and Jared Wilson are the guard positions, and obviously you have Garrett Bradbury at center. Defensively, Christian Ellis is out for this game, so I guess with Jack Gibbons, the more experienced guy, will get to play. But again, Martin Mahoub, former safety, will definitely get a lot of coverage snaps there. Robert Splint has been very good. Both pass rushers, even though K'Lavon Chasen obviously isn't the greatest player, have been enjoying very good years. Obviously, Harold Landry, maybe not the greatest sack numbers, but his efficiency has been better. Christian Barmore, obviously, as well as Milton Williams, are very good. Curtis Tonga is a nose tackle. This secondary has been very good, even though I don't love their safety situation. Andy Borregals, Bryce Behringer, a kicker and punter. Obviously, Marcus Jones, Ethan Chisholm, the third. That's a pretty nasty name. He's a kick return, and obviously Julian Ashby is their long snapper. With all that said, I didn't forget this week, the teams on the bye for you guys this week. We do have the Saints, who I already mentioned, with DeJuan Johnson being on a bye, and the Colts. Again, they're on a bye. Again, Colts are leading the division. Saints are last in the division, but again, at least Saints are coming off a win as well as the Colts. So again, those are your bye teams this week. We'll get back to that for the predictions of the entire Sunday slate. But for this game specifically, I got to put this game in boring. This is just not a game that I look at as a competitive one, and realistically, I don't see either of these offenses putting up a crap ton of points, especially with, again, the conditions for this. So, realistically, guys, I gotta put this in boring. Again, hopefully we get a similar game in terms of competitiveness between these two teams here that we saw in 2022, where, again, it was, walk-off touchdown, even though the game itself was brutal to watch. I don't really see that happening, so I gotta put this game in boring. Other than that, though, for the Patriots, obviously Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away from this game. Again, you look at the playoff picture in that sense, they are a very good chance. They have a chance to be, what is it now, 2.5 games up on the Bills going into Week 12, which would be pretty crazy. I don't think they're on a bye week next week. They might be, though. But, yeah, the Patriots are on a very, very good opportunity. This is a game they can ill afford to lose. Jets, I guess maybe not. Jets, though, they're really looking towards the #1 pick or something like that. I don't know. They're doing their own thing there. I'm going to pick the Patriots in this game, as many people would expect them to. Kind of a boring score, but I'm going to say they win this one 20-3, similar to what the Jets did that to the Patriots back last year on that Thursday night when they were at MetLife. But I'm going to say the Patriots win this game 20-3. That's all I got for you guys here in the NFL world. Now let's get to those college football picks here for week, what is it now, 12? That's crazy for college football. All right, guys, it's already crazy to say, but we only have 3 weeks left of the college football regular season. Bowl season's obviously my favorite time of the year, but obviously we do have 3 more weeks left of college football here for these game day picks. We have some pretty significant games we'll get to in a little bit, but before we can get to that, I will be reacting. Again, I won't be reacting. I'll give you guys my opinions on this college football power rankings here, not power rankings, the college football playoff rankings here for Week 12, the top 25. Cincinnati at 25. Again, they got absolutely, I'm not going to say that word. They got destroyed by Utah a couple weeks ago. Brandon Sorsby, their quarterback, does not handle pressure well. This is still a very talented team, though. There's a chance they can ruffle some feathers there in that Big 12. But realistically, coming off a decent game, they probably deserve to be here. South Florida, I don't think there's any sort of group of 5 team that is even competitive. No, that's not true. They're not really legitimately a top 25 team. They're definitely the most well-performing team, though, considering they have beaten some pretty decent teams. Like, they did go into Florida and win, like, stuff like that. They also got destroyed by Miami, who's had their woes this season. So they definitely have some issues. But still, they're the best team out of any group of 5 right now. So again, I guess they deserve that. Tennessee, obviously, they haven't had the greatest losses this season. That loss to Oklahoma a couple weeks ago was pretty disappointing, but they're obviously moving up in the rankings because they didn't play or something. I don't know. They're a 3-loss team. I don't love 3-loss teams in the top 25. Pitt, you'll see my opinion in a little bit. Iowa, they're so boring to watch, but they make games ugly. And again, they took Oregon as far as they could there at home, so I can't blame them too much. They were very competitive in that one, so I'll give them some props, and at least their offense is a little more functional than usual. Louisville, they're an absolute joke. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I think this team's absolute trash. Any other SEC, ACC team other than Miami, I think is an absolute joke. So, yeah. Louisville, like, what the hell are we doing here, bro? You guys are not that good. Virginia, Jalen Morris is a good story and stuff. They have some decent players in that defense, but, like, I don't know. They're just not a good team, but, guys, like, realistically, I could see, I don't know, UConn, who just beat Duke. Duke is technically tied for first place in the ACC. It's absolutely ridiculous. I could see UConn be going into Virginia and beating them by 20. I'm not even kidding. Beat the brakes off of them. So, Virginia, you're not that great. Michigan, yeah, this, again, it comes down to that Ohio State game. USC, they've got some huge games coming up. Realistically, though, they're still not defensively really superior enough for me to actually see them as any like legit threat. But still, they're playing pretty good this season. Georgia Tech, again, other than Miami, I give them some respect there. But at the same time, I don't think this team is really talented enough to really be a legit threat either. They are 8-1 though, so you gotta keep that into account. Miami, yeah, they're so talented, but again, we've seen they've completely I won't say collapse, but they have not played well in certain situations. Vanderbilt, they do need to win out and get some help, but still, they're not the worst 8-2 team you've ever seen out of the SEC. They've obviously the best year they've had in forever. Utah, they're interesting. They're not a team that I look at as a true contender, but at the same time, Devin Dampier and that offense have been very good on top of a very solid defense. BYU, they got their absolute butts whooped by Texas Tech, who didn't even throw the ball. So I mean, they're just not that great. They do deserve to be here. Oklahoma should be in the top in the playoff. I really think again if they we'll see. They have a very good opportunity to make a statement, or not even a statement. Get in the freaking dance. I'll say that. Texas, who beat Oklahoma, can't really argue too much there. Their offense is very inconsistent, but they're obviously a pretty talented team. Notre Dame is a joke. They're number 9 guys. They have 2 losses. And neither of them. I mean, they're really good losses, so I can't really talk about that. But yeah. Guys, Notre Dame, are they really this good? Let's be honest there. Oregon, they just haven't looked that impressive. But at the same time, they got to grind out a win. Ole Miss, they're 9-1, cool. Texas Tech, best team in the Big 12, most dominant team this year in terms of point differential, give them their props. Georgia, Bama, not really too much to talk about there, except they are on upset alert. Not really, but still. And you got these 3 undefeated teams. Indiana got an absolutely crazy win against Penn State. Do go recommend watching the highlights from that. Ohio State, they're still number 1 in the country. I hope they lose I hope their little bro State again against Michigan. And then Texas A&M probably is the best resume so far this season, but are yet to play a huge, big-time game just yet. So, but again, they have gotten pretty impressive wins this year, especially on the road. That's all I got for you guys here in the top 25. Let's move over to our actual game day picks. Our first one we'll be talking about is where College Game Day will be going. I think it's an absolute joke they're going to this game because realistically, I don't think this game will really matter that much at all. Notre Dame's going to win this one in a landslide. I don't think there's really much else for me to say. This game will not be close. Telling you guys that right now. Anyway, though, because Pitt is not a top 25 team. It's that simple. Anyway, though, Arizona at number 25. Again, I like the fact they're going to Pitt for the first time in 20 years, but just to forget about this game. Arizona and Cincinnati. I really like Arizona to pull off the upset with Noah Fafita, and the fact that that offense is really moving the ball. But there's no way Brent Sorsby at his home place is going to play like that. I'm taking Cincinnati there. Oklahoma versus Alabama. I'm obviously picking up Oklahoma. This would be an absolutely huge win for them. This game's obviously going to be close no matter how I cut it. But again, I think John Mateer at some point is going to have to step up and play like the best quarterback in the country. This is the game to do it. Virginia Duke. Duke's going to win this game. I already talked about Virginia. I'm not very comfortable with them at all. Again, UConn just beat Duke, which is pretty hilarious. But again, I just want to see Duke again make the playoff at 8-4. And UConn beat them. That would just be hilarious. Iowa versus USC. USC's home. They're going to win that game. It's going to be really ugly. It's going to be really probably low scoring, but it's going to still be a USC win because they're home and they're not in Iowa. If they were in Iowa, I'd have Iowa there. Just because of, again, the fact they can really muddy those games up. And again, it looked miserable for Oregon there. But yeah, give me USC there. Memphis and East Carolina. East Carolina upset Memphis. Memphis really, again, put a really big hole in their playoff hopes. East Carolina is a pretty sneaky good team. They're not a fun team to play. They run the ball at a pretty decent clip, and defensively they're just absolutely gross. So give me them in that one. Texas versus Georgia. Georgia. Yes, I might be picking these again for that, but this game will obviously be close. I see Ark Manning completely crumbling when they need him to play. So that's what I'll say there. Kennesaw State versus Jacksonville State. Kennesaw State at 7-2 is absolutely ridiculous. I'll just keep rolling with them. I like the story there. TCU versus BYU. BYU is not, again, my favorite team, but they're obviously going to be able to figure a way out to beat TCU, considering they've been able to do that all year except for last week at Texas Tech. So that's what I'll say there. Boise State, San Diego State. Boise State's going to win this one. They're a more talented team. San Diego State just lost by, what was it? It was 38-6 or something against, who is it? Hawaii. So yeah, I'm gonna say Boise State wins that game. But what do you say for the score for the Notre Dame Pitt game is 43-9. So that's going to be 52 total points. So, yeah, that's my final score there. But, again, I'll save those. Don't worry about these confidence. Probably should have talked about in the beginning. We'll get more of that later. Only 2 weeks left of college football picks, but, again, it's pretty crazy, at least for the regular season. Again, until we get to that, enjoy your college football weekend. Enjoy your Thursday night game tomorrow. That's all I got for you guys. And here, again, was that crazy touchdown I talked about that hopefully some of you guys remember from that Jets and Patriots game back in 2022 in New England. That's all I got for you guys, though.
From the 16-yard line, Marcus Jones. Got a block from Schooler. Here he goes. He's going to try to beat the punter. He does. He's gone. And that is a touchdown. Are you kidding me, Kevin? The way this game has gone, and that's how this thing's going to finish?